Well, hello, everyone. My name is Andy Wilson, and I'm the Executive Director of Doing Business in Bentonville. And thank you so much for joining our podcast today. My guest is Kim Souza. Kim, welcome.
Thank you.
We're so glad that you're back in the studio. And we have so much to talk about.
Indeed.
But before we get into all that, Kim is the journalist and senior analyst for Talk Business and Politics, the City Wire, and I can't say one of my favorite, but yes, one of my favorite is Northwest Arkansas Business Journal. I read it all the time, so great job. Kim, wow, what a week you have had.
Yeah, it was a whirlwind.
I mean, it was a Walmart whirlwind week,
Always.
was it?
Always.
Yeah, and so I just want to tell our audience what we're going to talk about today. And all of this comes from the conversations and articles that Kim and I have talked about. So here's what we're going to talk about today. Okay, you ready? We're going to always talk omnichannel. We're going to do that. We're also going to talk robots. We're going to talk drones. We're going to talk hamburgers. Okay, we're going to talk hamburgers. And, of course, we'll talk about the Walmart shareholders meeting just wrapped up last week here in Northwest Arkansas. But we are very, very excited to share all of this with you today. Again, thanks for joining. So, Kim, I tell you what, let's do. Let's talk about the experience you had at Walmart Store 100 in Bentonville, Arkansas. It's across the street from the Walmart home office. And you got to experience and spend time around what we're calling MFC. And I know you'll talk about that. So,
Right.
Kim, tell us about your experience that day.
Okay, so everybody in the area has seen that big, giant add-on to Store 100. It's been in the works for about 2 years. They finally got us to look inside, and it's a giant vending machine. And it was developed with partners, Alert Technology, which Walmart acquired back in October. But it's a massive, massive vending machine. That's the best way I know how to describe it. It's a vertical storage unit with Alphabot robots that can hold 2 totes, and they can maneuver through the machine and pick the items that people order online. Now, the machine does not load itself. There are 2 associates that stand at one end of the machine, and they check the expiration dates on the products. These are ambient products that would be shelf canned goods, that kind of thing, consumables, but grocery. Mm-hmm. They check the expiration dates, and they tell the robot, we're loading this in. And so they load it in totes. The robots come and get it and store it where they know it's supposed to be stored. It's like a mini DC inside.
Right.
And so these associates are loading this machine all day based on what's going out the back door.
Right.
There are 2 associates at the other end of the machine that are getting the totes brought to them with all of the things that the customer has ordered.
Right.
Those bots have read the order. They've gone and got the toothpaste. They've gone and got the green beans, everything the person wants, put it in a single tote and wrote it to where the person is standing. Mm-hmm. And the associate actually has a screen here. They say, green beans in the sack, toothpaste in the sack. They fill the sack from the tote. Mm-hmm. The only thing that the machine is not really handling is fresh produce. If you want bananas or avocados, those associates will go into the store and pick those and add them to that order. That machine that Walmart would not tell me how many products it stores. It can pick orders more efficiently because it's not maneuvering around shoppers, and it's more accurately. It's not going to pick the wrong size, for instance.
Right.
This is an experiment by Walmart. They plan to put 20 of these throughout their network, and they're going in locations where there's high velocity need for online pickup. right now, Store 100 only serves orders that go into Store 100.
Right.
Online grocery. There's a lot more room in that building for it to expand if they want to do that. And if they do that, Walmart said they could relieve pressure off of the neighborhood markets on I Street and on North Walton. Right. That's why they call it a market fulfillment center, right, to relieve pressure on stores and to add capacity to a whole market.
Right.
The other term the industry uses is micro fulfillment center because it's smaller.
Right.
Walmart said, we use market because it's going to serve a whole market.
Right.
It is a micro, but we call it market. It's innovation at its core. I mean, it's driven through AI. It's driven through robotics. It's created new jobs. It's a win-win for Walmart. Will they have them everywhere? Probably not, because the majority of grocery is still bought in person. But this is a way to take 20% cost out of the last mile. When they pair that MFC with drone delivery, which you also see at Store 100, mm-hmm, and with their Spark delivery, their third-party delivery services, right, they're able to take up to 20% of cost out of the final mile, which is huge to the bottom line.
You're right. It is huge. Well, it's exciting, and actually, what we're going to do on the podcast, we're going to roll video that you have made available to us also while you were talking, so our listeners and people watching today can watch the video that's been made available to us. So thank you for that. So as Kim talked, you can see all this in action, So Kim, all right, let's talk about this. The point you said, it is for a market, and you can sort of visualize what Walmart would do with this as they look at markets and their dominancy around the markets around the country. But talking about that, I know you were able to get an update on the e-commerce sales and all of that at Walmart. And just as we tie into this new technology that you just described, let's talk about how things are going at Walmart from a revenue standpoint.
Great. Walmart, as you know, Walmart kind of bucked the trend and had 27% e-commerce sales growth in the first quarter while other retailers were struggling. A lot of that is the growth of their marketplace. That would be non-grocery, but their third-party marketplace. They've got millions and millions of SKUs online. They have now partnered with those marketplace sellers to do the fulfillment. Mm-hmm. And so they've taken, let's say I want to order water hose or something, and you don't, a soaker hose or something, and you don't have it in the store I want, but a supplier who sells on marketplace has it. Maybe it would take 5 days to get it here if they were going to send it to me. But when Walmart fulfills it, I can get it in 2 or 3 days.
Right.
So that is a benefit to people using Marketplace now because they fulfill through Walmart, just like Walmart's competitor Amazon. When Amazon fulfills it, you get it faster.
That's right.
And you have the power of that retailer behind that shipment for tracking and whatnot. That's a big reason. And the online grocery growth is another big reason for Walmart's 27% sales.
Right.
Top line sales. That is possible because of technology. I mean, that's possible
right.
because of technology.
Well, and we're going to talk more about that. We're talking omnichannel, as all our viewers and listeners know. But if you look at Walmart and e-commerce sales last year was around $80 billion and 13% of Walmart's total sales. So
it's growing.
Right. Omnichannel and is here to stay. And I want to read your quote because I loved your quote that you wrote about omnichannel. And it says, being omnichannel essentially means having what shoppers want when they want it and allow them to shop how they want.
Right.
Talk about that. I mean, because you got exposed to so much of that with the Walmart shareholders and all the events you've been, and you've covered other supply chain. So let's talk about that for a moment, because omnichannel essentially means having what shoppers want, when they want it, and allowing them to shop how they want. That's exciting.
It is. And if you're Walmart, it's really exciting. 3, 4, 5 years ago, Walmart talked about being an omni retailer. Today, they are an omni retailer.
Right.
You can shop with your phone. It's everybody's closest store, as Tom Ward said. You shop with your phone. It's powered through AI. Let's say you're looking for a gift for a third grade girl, and you ask for help. It will help you pick a gift. That is AI, generative AI. That is technology helping you shop. Okay, you pick your gift. You send it to store 100. It weighs less than 10 pounds. You get it delivered by drone. I mean, for Pete's sake, that's high tech.
That is.
They drop it at your front door. That is the world we live in today. Walmart can do that. They can leverage their stores for fulfillment, and they're doing that. That is a huge advantage, especially with grocery and the growing marketplace. A store is a finite space, and it cannot hold everything. But when you have an growing online business and a marketplace that can carry brands that would never sell in a Walmart. I mean, let's face it, some brands are not going to sell in a Walmart, but they'll sell on Walmart's marketplace. And Walmart's even selling used things on their marketplace for the real value shopper. When you can offer all of that from a person's phone and guarantee they get it within 2 days, sometimes 1 hour, sometimes same day, depending on what it is, that's true omnichannel.
It is. Well, let's continue talking about it, because I know we both live in Northwest Arkansas, and you got to experience the drone up delivery, and we have several different models in our area that you talked about. So let's talk about that, and I'll tell you one I got to visit last week. So of it, but you got to experience that, and so let's talk about the drone again as we talk omnichannel. Talk about the drone service that's available to Walmart customers.
Well, it's really still in trial mode. Walmart is piloting with several drone development companies. Drone Up and Zipline are two of the major ones. Over in Pea Ridge, they have a Zipline drone I think it might have been one of the first ones. That one in Farmington preceded the one at Store 100. But the Zipline can hold more weight. The Zipline can travel further, I think 5 miles. Store 100's Drone Up only has FAA clearance for 1 mile. Drones are still very highly regulated about how and where and when they can be used. So Walmart's taking advantage of how and where it can, where it can get the certification to do it. Are drones the end-all be-all? No. I mean, let's face it. You need dog food, a drone can't bring it to you because it weighs 30 pounds. But I see drones really having a future for things like delivering medication. I know Zipline in particular has really worked in Africa dropping COVID stuff across Africa to drop points. That, to me, drones going where cars cannot go, or something like that, delivering something small but essential, are really the best place to use drones. Walmart has used them to count inventory in their DCs. I mean, they've tried all these use cases. At the end of the day, drones are just part of the omni-channel piece.
That's it.
Walmart is building a Lego ship, okay? And its stores are the center, and the drones may be the very tip end, but Walmart is building something here, and the drones are one piece of that.
Well, I had the opportunity recently to watch the Zipline drone in Pea Ridge, Arkansas.
Yes.
And of course, I tied that in with a gravel ride on my bike, so it goes through there. So I got to have fun on both things. But you're right. Well, as retailers today, the world is really changing rapidly, and it's so based upon the consumer. And as we've already defined, what omnichannel is having that product ready and available when you want that. And if you're not doing that, you need to be working on that as a retailer for sure.
If you're going to be relevant.
But one of the things that we talked about and that you wrote about, and, I spent almost 30 years at Walmart, and, we always said that our people made the difference. Our associates are number one, and we really did that. And Walmart just did that by having close to 10,000 associates here for the Walmart shareholders meeting from around the world. And so it's so exciting here the week of Walmart. Well, the traffic increases for sure, but there's so much e-commerce business that's brought here to this in commerce to this area from Walmart. So we really appreciate that huge influx in our economy here. But one of the things that you wrote about that I'd like to talk about in a minute is what you said, that how Walmart describes their technology, how it's led by the associates. So can you talk about that a moment?
Sort of revamp their mission statement to say that they're people-led, tech-empowered, so that they continue to lower cost for customers so that they can save money and live better. Right. And last week, if we saw anything throughout the 4 days I was with Walmart, it was how much they love their associates and how much they're investing in technology. Yeah. They said technology augments jobs. It does not replace jobs. And the associates that are on the front line with customers are still some of the most important people in the business today. I love that Walmart gives them a week away from their jobs to learn and actually meet all the executives and take that knowledge and learning back to their stores. That's the secret sauce for Walmart, are their people.
Right.
But we're in an omni-channel world. People want it now. You have to have technology. Walmart's invested so heavily in technology, billions over the last 2 or 3 years. And CEO Doug McMillon said in the Q&A session to wrap up the meeting on a Friday that all of those investments they've made, from bringing online pickup to close to 4,000 stores, building out next generation fulfillment centers that are highly automated, adding on the micro fulfillment centers, bringing together a group of Spark third-party contract drivers to deliver their products, practicing and piloting drones, using AI to do everything from helping pickers have a more efficient route to pick orders to helping merchants learn the tricks of the trade with their new app, Ask Claude.
Yeah.
They're using AI in so many cool ways, generative AI, and it really is the next frontier for technology. Walmart they haven't talked that much about it. They did this week, and they've been using it for several years. But let's talk about Ask Claude, because that is generative AI at its core.
Sure. Well, I want you to talk about it, but let me introduce it a bit. Okay. Ask Claude. Claude Harris was one of the first merchants at Walmart, one of the first employees, associates that Sam hired in the Ben Franklin. He started all the way back in the Ben Franklin era, and we all know him personally. He's quite a legend. He was quite a legend here, and he passed away, but he had so much great impact. And then also I had the opportunity to work with his son, Don Harris, at Walmart for many, many years. And one of the great merchants and leaders at Walmart. His son is and still a friend today. But okay, you just talked about about the people and how important people are in technology and omnichannel and all of that. And then we just talked about over 10,000 associates here. Now, there's an app called Ask Claude. What is that app?
Well, it isn't. Let me go back just a little bit. A couple of years ago, Sam's Club technology team introduced Ask Sam, and it was generative AI. It was on their cell phones. If an associate was on the floor and they needed some information, if they needed to know when a shipment was coming, or they needed some other type of information, how many clubs do we have? Just a plethora of information. They could go to the Ask Sam app and get that information. It was such a hit, Walmart gave it to its associates. Well, the tech team said, why don't we have something for the home office team? The associates out in the stores have Ask Sam. Why don't we have our own generative AI data bank of wisdoms to draw from to help us do our job? So Claude Harris was the first merchant buyer for Walmart. Sam hired him over to be the first merchant buyer. I had the privilege and honor to interview him twice, last year and then 10 years before. And he had some great stories to tell about how they sourced product in those early days. But he was a merchant at heart, just like Sam was a merchant at heart, just like CEO Doug McMillon is a merchant at heart. And at the end of the day, Walmart is a merchandising business. It's a retailer. Right. They can have all the cool technology in the world, but at the end of the day, they sell things.
Right.
And so Ask Claude is just like Ask Sam. Yeah. If you're a merchant and a buyer and you need help, you've never been so busy because you're now seeing over online sales and in-store sales. And so maybe you need a report run. You need to know, you need some kind of report run. You can ask Claude to run it for you.
Yeah.
And you can ask Claude to analyze, why are my sales down in these 3 stores? And Claude, generative AI, will analyze it for you and send you the information to allow you to make the decisions and dig deeper into the reasoning. So it's really, I think, a cool tool for merchants who, like I said, have never been busier now that they're managing online and in-store product.
Correct.
That's what Ask Claude is.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
A generative AI database to help buyers do their job.
It is. It's so exciting, and I think you can tell that we're excited about Walmart. You're excited about living in this Northwest Arkansas and getting to see so much of this develop, and in front of us. And of course, through the years that as we've been at Walmart and watched it grow, watched the development, and even what Doug said at the shareholders meeting. Walmart's not perfect yet. There's still a lot of issues they're working through, but I think the thing that we'd like our audience to really understand today is that Walmart isn't afraid to test things, to try things. And when I was at Walmart, I love what Sam always told us. He said, try it and fix it. And we did that all the time. We were always inventing, reinventing, and we always could get permission of failure, because we could say we tried it, it failed or didn't work at our expectation, but we would fix it. And that's what Walmart is still doing today. That's part of their culture.
Right. The Supercenter was a result of a failure.
Right.
Sam's Club was an experiment, for Pete's sake.
Right.
Walmart is known for its experimentation. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it morphs into something better. Sometimes it doesn't.
Right.
That's still the mentality. It comes from their founder. And I can tell you, every single executive I heard speak this week said, we are so fortunate that we have the leeway to try and fail.
Right.
Because the learnings in failure can make the difference.
That's it. That's exactly right. Well, I said at the very beginning we were going to talk about hamburgers.
Okay.
Okay, and so as we bring this to a close, and we'll come back, circle back just a moment. But okay, hamburgers. Now, you got to see hamburgers being made.
By a robot.
So,
and I ate one.
Okay. All right. Someone asked me, I was at the Sam's Club in Fayetteville recently, and I was watching the robot make the hamburgers. I didn't buy one. Okay.
$5.
Okay. Yeah, they're $5.
But they're delicious.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
Okay.
Well, would you expect anything less from Sam's?
Well, of course not.
Okay. This is kind of a quirky thing, but Sam's Club stood up its own tech team about 2 years ago. Studio 32, I think is what they call it.
That's correct, yeah.
And they were playing around with technologies as, they're in a sandbox playing around with how to use technologies. And they came up with this technology to make this hamburger. And they put one in Dallas, I think, and they put one here.
Right.
They said these will not be everywhere. This was just something fun to have in clubs, but the technology behind it is being used for other things.
Right.
And so, Sam's is using the floor scrubbers now to do their inventory.
Right.
So it was just something quirky that Sam's Club tech team wanted to do, but what they found out was the technology that powers that hamburger machine also powers other things that help club operators.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, I guess I need to eat a hamburger at Sam's Club and try it for $5. Okay.
You can order it. You order it through a screen, and you can, ketchup, mustard, whatever you want on it, and put it all together for you.
Okay. All right.
I recommend it.
Okay. If you recommend it, I'm doing it. Okay. Again, thank you all for joining us today. We really did talk about so much is happening here at Walmart and Sam's. But I think what I would love for you to take away from our conversation today, it is really all about your people. And Walmart's really engaging their people throughout this growth of technology, as we've talked about today, and having technology help their people to do a better job, to serve the customer and really focus on the customer. And being a truly omnichannel company is what they're really working towards and beginning to do. And if you're not there, you got to begin because it is the future of retailing, omnichannel.
It is, and Walmart is asking suppliers, give me all of your catalog. I can't put it all in the store, but we have a marketplace business. You can sell it directly to the customers. We can fulfill it for you. You can advertise with us, and we can, help you grow sales. Walmart is building an ecosystem around its business, and not just here in the United States, but around the world. They're doing it in Mexico, and they're doing it in India. And those suppliers who tap into that ecosystem will see the biggest rewards, I think.
Well, Kim, as always, thank you for being here. It's always a pleasure to have you. I want you to come back and come back and come back because you do such a great job. And you can check Kim out you can check on LinkedIn. Of course, she's on LinkedIn. But as I mentioned at the top of the show, she's a senior analyst for Talk Business and Politics, the City Wire and Northwest Arkansas Business Journal. You can catch her there on and see all of her articles and input. And also check her out on LinkedIn. Before we go, Kim, any closing comments?
I would just say, walking away from the Walmart shareholders, I got a real sense that Walmart's bottom line is going to improve. The investments that they've made are starting to pay off. They're starting to get critical mass in certain areas for marketplace and their online business. And I really think that Walmart is going nowhere but up.
Great.
They're not perfect. There's a lot of competitors nipping at their heels, but they're doing a lot of things right. And I think the management is cued in to that. And as long as they're people-led and tech-empowered, and their focus is on the customer, I mean, they're doing what their founder wanted.
Absolutely, we are. Continuing Sam's vision and legacy. Absolutely. Well, again, Kim, thank you for being here. I want to thank you for joining us today as our guest. And here's the other thing I want to remind you before you go. We are about doing business in Bentonville. We're about all things around omnichannel, and you can check us out on dbbnwa.com. And don't forget to check us out on our YouTube, Spotify, and Apple channel for our podcast. Go wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. So thank you. Thank you again, Kim. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, everyone, for joining us today.